Hello, I'm Karen from Birthclassesuk. I also teach antenatal classes as well as hypnobirthing classes, and I want to give you a bit of an example of what I teach and how I teach it. So I think the best way to do it is by talking about contractions. So to get a baby out, people have to have contractions to push the baby down. In hypnobirthing, we do call them surges rather than contractions, but to do this, I'll refer to them as contractions, as you're all quite familiar with them. So basically, your baby's inside your uterus and it needs to get out. To do that, your body tightens and pushes the baby out, and that's called contractions, and your cervix opens and lets the baby out. That's normally between 37 and 42 weeks. We give a date to people in the UK of 40 weeks. In France, we give it a 41 weeks. So it can be anywhere between 37 and 42. I will say if you get them earlier than 37, please tell your service provider quite quickly. Ask for help, because that's not normally your baby will be premature if it's born before 37 weeks. But I'm talking today about 37 to 42 normal contractions, okay? So what happens is, I've got this beautiful drawing. Couldn't find a picture. So the baby's inside your uterus like this, and your cervix is facing backwards usually. That is your vagina down here. What happens is this cervix has got to thin, so it's like this around your baby's head, and it's got to thin out and then open, okay? And it does this, it thins, that's how long it is, and it gets thinner, 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 then your cervix starts to open and it releases the baby out. How this happens is with the muscles in your uterus tightening up and letting the baby out, and that's usually called contractions. People refer to them as contractions. So lots of people say to me, how do I know if you get contractions? I've had lots of tightenings. Yeah, sometimes you can get tightenings before birth, and they're called Braxton Hicks, so they shouldn't be painful. Generally, when you're feeling the pain of contractions, let me use this lovely little baby for a thing, you're feeling them down here, down below, or sometimes even in your lower back. When your healthcare provider is actually feeling your tummy, you should feel it at the top. They will feel it at the top to see how strong they are. Sometimes we can tell. Sometimes it's quite difficult. It's what you're saying as well. They will be coming. So how do you know if the contractions are working? How do you know they're doing something? We don't always, and there's no, if you're worried, just give them a ring and ask them. So basically what may happen to you is you start to feel a bit more uncomfortable, tightness down below. It's a bit like period type pain. You might get a little one, and you might get a really sharp one, and you might get another little one. Generally, the early contractions last for 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, even 40 seconds, and they're quite irregular. And then they tend to build up and maybe get a bit stronger, but you've still got that gap there. So what happens is the ones are becoming more regular. They're not lasting as long, they're not very strong, but you're getting there. And this can take over a few days. So they become stronger. Some people experience them quite strong straight away and regular. But the general rule to thumb is they're lasting around a minute, and they become irregular, that is, and they're uncomfortable. So there's no point, if you're getting them and you're not really feeling much, just let somebody know. Always let somebody know. Sometimes it becomes stronger, but they're still quite far apart. So they're regular, they're strong. And this is contractions, what are probably doing something. So they're regular, they're coming stronger, and they're getting more. And the contractions, people say to me all the time, oh, well, I got in the bath and I just relaxed and they went away. It's probably not true labour at that point. True labour doesn't stop, it tends to carry on, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. There's lots of things you can do in this time. You don't have to rush straight into hospital, but if there's any reason you need to, please go into hospital earlier. But there's lots and lots of things you can be doing at home, and I'll talk about that in the classes, things you can do. I'll talk all about pain relief. I'll talk about when you should go into hospital earlier for, the complication things and things like that. If you'd like to know more, please look on my website. I'm on www.birthclasses.co.uk. I've got a Facebook site called Birthclassesuk. I'm also on Instagram at Birthclassesuk and on Twitter at Birthclassesuk. If you ask me any questions, I'd love to teach you. I'm really reasonable for classes. I start from £40, learn you quite a lot. It's very realistic. I teach you exactly how it is. If you ask me questions, that's fine. Thank you.